Hey, friends. I want to talk today about turn-ons. This is a subject that I'm thinking about a lot right now because I am going to be talking about it tomorrow night in a class that I'm doing called Tune Into Your Turn-ons. I'll put information in the description. I'd love it if you joined us. Um, but today I want to talk about why it can be so difficult to talk about these things and even to recognize what our turn-ons are. And I'm going to tell you this from my perspective, having been raised and socialized in a little girl body. And hopefully you can relate to it from whatever your experience was. So, in my experience, I was very much socialized to be the little girl who paid attention to what everybody else needed and to make sure that I did whatever I could to help them get their needs met. That was absolutely my role in the family, and it felt like my role in any other space that I was in. I was always paying attention to everyone else and making sure they got their needs met. So put me into a bedroom situation, and everything in my brain is attuned to what is it that my partner needs, and how can I make sure that my partner gets those needs met? And, you could turn this into, you could think about this in, a heterosexual male female normalized relationship. But the truth is that I have done this when I've been involved with women as well. This is just my behavior pattern that I believe comes from how I was socialized. So the other person in the partnership is not necessarily like their gender is not so important as what I learned, which is take care of them, make sure they get what they need. And my needs were never really particularly on the table. When I was a kid, if we were in the car and my dad was driving and I said, Daddy, I have to go to the bathroom, or, if we were on a long drive, I have to go to a bathroom, or I want to stop and get some food. Can we go to McDonald's? He would get super, super irritated if it didn't fit in exactly to his schedule and when he wanted me to go to the bathroom or to get food. Like, it was so important that things be done on his schedule in his way to get his needs met. And I bring all of that conditioning into my adult relationships. So I'm paying attention to what my partner needs. I'm really not paying attention so much to what I need. And then my partner looks at me and says, What do you want? And my brain goes, Well, I don't know. Like it goes into like lockdown. Like I can almost imagine like an engine seizing. Like my brain can't process that question. And what I have realized is that there are a few problems going on here. One is that it's being asked in the moment in the bedroom. So, like in the heat of the moment, if somebody asks me that question, I have no access to that part of my brain whatsoever. This has changed over time. I want to say to you that this gets better because it has gotten better for me, but I'm talking about where I was a few years ago. Like that part of my brain could not activate while I was in the bedroom. So if that conversation had happened outside of the bedroom, like while we were sitting and having brunch or whatever, maybe it could have gone differently because maybe my brain wouldn't have been so wrapped up in taking care of my partner in that moment, and it could have thought about, oh, what is it that I want? But once we're inside the bedroom and we're in that sexual space, my brain was not going to engage in that way because it was too invested in taking care of my partner. The other thing is that very often when that question was being asked, what was being asked of me was to give them a tip or a trick or a switch that they could flip, a thing that they could do to make me feel good. When really what I needed was to feel seen, was to feel heard, was to feel like there was a kind of connection between us. And I couldn't give them a quick tip or trick about how to establish and nurture that connection in a thing that they could do in 30 seconds or less, which is really, I think, what they were asking for when they would say, so, like, what do you want? I could, like, what am I going to say? I want you to lay here and talk with me and have a conversation. Well, in the middle of the sexual act, that was just not going to fly. Not, and I wasn't going to be able to say it, but it wasn't going to fly with my partner either. Um, so these conversations about turn-ons, I would suggest to you they need to happen A, in a really different way, and B, in a really different place. So the first thing is, if you're thinking about, I really want to connect with my partner around like what feels good. I want to be more specific with them about what I need and what I want. The first thing to think about is don't do it in the bedroom. Don't do it in the bedroom. I feel like I harp on this a lot, but for the people in back, don't do it in the bedroom. It's just, there's nothing good that can come of having these conversations in the bedroom, especially the first few times that you do it. You're just too raw and too vulnerable. And second, recognize when you and your partner are having a conversation where the request is for a 30-second trick, and what you need is a deeper conversation and a deeper connection. I'm not saying that that's going to be like super easy to figure out how to say the first time. We'll talk about this more in the class tomorrow night. But I do want to at least open your eyes to the possibility that what you're trying to expect of yourself by saying to your partner, oh, I want you to do this, like, that the reason that you may be having a hard time coming up with that is because it's not actually what you want. And beginning to tease that apart and recognize when what you're trying to give your partner is different than what you actually need, that's going to cause some internal discomfort for you and potentially cause your brain to seize up. So I hope that was helpful. So again, the class is Tune Into Your Turn-ons. It's happening tomorrow, Wednesday, November 20th. It's an online class, so you can join from anywhere in the world, and there will be a replay available if you can't join for live. So all the info is in the description. I would love to see you there. And if not, that's great. I'll keep making videos and you keep getting what you need out of them. But I will see you again soon. Until next time, here's to your better sex life. Bye.